So a lot of these people who are self-teaching, they're just figuring out SPMLs just by guesswork, figuring out how to do it, and eventually they're getting it right. But they don't do any alcohol blocks or anything, and they haven't figured out the high velocity stuff yet. So there's people out there calling things SPMLs that really aren't. At least not what we're doing. And it's a shame because we would teach them if they would ask.
It's not just a technique to learn, is it? It's art.
Well, the thing is, the funny thing is, of all the people I've taught, starting with Dr. Güemes Gomez was the first, who's working in southern Mexico in the middle of the Yucatan Peninsula. He's down there with these kids, doing a great job. He dropped out of engineering to go back to medical school. So he's the first, and then came Dr. Kanelopoulos, who's back from Greece, and his background was in engineering, and became an orthopedist. 2 engineers, and then Dr. Ingve with a background in engineering.
Wow.
So all people, there's a kind of a pattern emerging here, and I have a background. I'm teaching at an engineering school.
Right, that's right.
And it's that this is not an orthopedic way of thinking. This is an engineering way of thinking. And this also happened in Greece. They saved vast amounts of money by doing it this way.
And vast amounts of pain, scarring,
unnecessary hospitalizations. The complication rates are low. Nobody wanted to believe me when I said I had a low complication rate. They didn't even publish my stuff. I mean, so it's published in engineering journals. Nobody wants to know that. So, and engineers understand it. But it's funny, the people who have latched onto this are the podiatrists. Because when they get these old diabetics with bad skin and bad feet, and they have like neuropathies,
right?
And then they're getting a lot of the neurologic findings, and they say, okay, we have to deal with that, but that's another incision on a person you don't want to put an incision on. So they found that it's very helpful as an adjunct to what they're doing. So that's another group that's where it's become almost routine. And at this point, the podiatrists are teaching each other. This is like run of the mill for them.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, that there's more people doing it.
But it's in the feet. They're not treating CP,
Right.
So.